Hey guys, welcome back to Creatures, Caverns, and Crafting. Today we're going to start a video by going to the local Goodwill. Now if you're new to crafting, the Goodwill is a great place to find used and abused toys. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there about Goodwill and crafting. However, I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go in detail about how I pick toys and how I prepare them for my project. So first of all, we're going to start by going to the toy grab bag bin. This is generally in the toy section of the Goodwill. This is where you're going to find unique plastic bits for your project. My rule here is if it looks interesting, put it in the bag. This generally costs about $3, $3.20 with tax. Also, while you're here, give the board games a quick look through. I've heard some YouTubers actually find full sets of Zombicide for like $4. So now that we've loaded up our bag, the first thing we're going to do is inspect these toys. I'm not even bringing these things inside my house until I visually inspected every single nook and cranny. Look for any type of hidden compartments. What we want to look for here is any type of evidence of infestation. We're looking for eggs, bug exoskeletons, anything like that. Guys, the last thing you want to do is bring this into your home and get bed bugs or get some sort of pest infestation. So give these a really good look over before you bring them inside your home. So my next step is to allow these toys to soak in a mixture of water and bleach. Keep in mind these toys may be coated in snot. Babies love to put toys in their mouths. You really don't want to know what could be on these toys. So I let them soak. Here's a little bit of cleaning bleach I'm using. Give these about 15 minutes or so. Let them get nice and soaked in with that bleach. And then we're just going to take them out and allow them to dry in the sun. I'm going to give these one more wash with some Dawn soap and a scrubs brush here. I'm just taking a lot of precautions here. I'm going to use some nice clean water again. And then once I'm done, I'm going to let these dry one more time out in the sun. So now that we're done with cleaning, I thought you guys would like to get a close-up of some of the pieces that I have. Here's a barrel. I actually got two of these. This would be great to make like maybe a raft or maybe a steel. This is just a random bit. I picked this up because it has another part that clips on, and I think it'd be kind of cool for like a villain reveal if he was sitting on top and just popped out like so. I don't know. This would be a good entranceway. Also got a lot of these plastic monsters. You never have too many monsters. Here's a TP. And I've got some of these plants. We could use those for plantians for our Mutant Crawl Classic game, maybe. Or terrain. Here's another piece. This was kind of cool. This is a Star Wars figure. And some of this I won't be using for terrain. I'll be using for kit bashing. Here's a bag that would fit perfectly on a muscle figure. Here is a helmet. Zoom in for you guys so you can see. This is a Lego helmet that would fit nicely on a muscle figure for some armor. This guy would look pretty good if we painted him up as a gargoyle. This is a rock. I got this because this actually removes, and wouldn't it be kind of cool to put like a computer terminal or something in there? That'd be kind of cool. Anyways, a lot of ideas here. Let me just grab a spider here. But let's see what we can make with some of this stuff. So I'm going to start with this pink gazebo, and I'm going to take a drill and just pre-drill some holes in the top. I'm also going to use this computer terminal. This is from a Galaxy playset. I'll probably put it right about there. I'm going to take these skewers and trim them up and put them in each one of the pre-drill holes like so. And just to secure the bond, I'll be using some E6000 here. We'll drop a little bit in each one of those holes. This is what it should look like once you're done. We'll go ahead and move on to the secret compartment. For this, I'm going to start using a spanner bit. Be careful when doing this, it can be a bit tricky. And we're just going to drill a hole from the bottom. Next, I'm going to start adding some things to the overall structure. You notice I've added some rhinestones for bolts. I've also put some plastic skulls and some matchsticks. That's just to break things up a little bit. I've also carved some panels there on that top piece that folds out. Now we're just going to prime everything. and we'll move on to our next step. So now we're ready to apply some paint. I'm going to use a burnt sienna and burnt umber for the rust. I'm also going to sprinkle in a little nickel there just to add some metal. I'm also going to use a Scarsnet green for the computer module and the base plate, and Screaming Skull for, well, the skulls. I'm going to allow all that to dry, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to work on the rock here. I've added a computer module with some E6000. Here's a close-up of the gazebo. Now what I'm going to do to seal all this in is use some Army Painter Strong Tone. This is basically a polyurethane, and that's going to prevent that paint from coming off that smooth plastic. We're just going to apply it all along the model. Now when I'm applying this, I'm going to kind of go very light. Keep in mind that this will pull with gravity, so if you see that happening, just wipe it off on a napkin. Now, once we've allowed that to dry for about 12 hours, we're going to move on to a tester dull coat. Give this a nice thin coat. Allow it to dry, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and hit it with a second coat. So now I'm going to take a soda can. I'm going to make sure this is good and clean and we've allowed it to dry. I'm going to take some wire. This comes from a dollar store plant. And I'm going to try to make a ladder using those wires. Here's the gazebo that we painted earlier, and as you can tell, it fits perfectly on top. So I was going to go for maybe a fuel tank with a guard tower on top. I don't know. We'll just sometimes craft and see what we make. Anyways, I punch 4 holes in the can, and I'll run the wire through those. Here's the wire, and I use a little bit of E6000 here just to create the bond. And I'm also going to take some matchsticks and create the runners for the ladder. Again, you can use E6000, it'll bond really good. I've also added a washer to the bottom just to give some weight. Here's the runners that we added. Next, I'm going to go ahead and prime this using a Rust-Oleum Brown. This is a camouflage series. It does really good on the aluminum. When you're spraying this, nice and light coats. If you need to hit it 2 or 3 times, that's what I suggest you go for. The last thing you want to do is have this go on heavy and start to drip down. So I decided to add a platform onto the tower, and to do that I'm going to use some foam core. I'm just simply going to trace out a piece using the can. I'll keep the paper on the foam core, that way if I make a mistake I can go back. Here's the trace that I did, and I'm going to cut that out, and then I'm also going to take some granny grading and just put that on top. I'm going to use some E6000. That paper is going to protect the foam from the E6000 eating through, and I've also poked the skewers through that I had left over from earlier, and I've added some coffee stir sticks on the side. That'll just clean things up, also add some protection. And I'm going to take some corrugated paper and run those along the side. Next I'm going to take some Elmer's glue. I'm using some clear glue here, but you can use white, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to take a piece of foam. You can use a sponge as well. Just get a dab of that, and I'm just going to start dabbing all across the can like so. You don't have to go real thick with this, and I would even recommend that you change up the sponge. That way you don't repeat the same pattern. Sometimes you can get that occur if you don't switch up the position of the sponge. Here we are, just dabbing it on like so. And we're going to allow all that to dry. We're going to go through the whole can, and then we're going to spray this with another primer. Next, I primed the corrugated paper using a blue and a fur brown by Army Painter. I also primed the platform using the same camouflage brown as earlier. I also primed the can using a yellow by Army Painter. I only added a very light coat to this. Here's the can after we've primed it. I'm going to show you guys a really neat trick. I'm going to use a electric toothbrush, but if you don't have an electric toothbrush, any type of brush will do. We're going to just dip a little bit of water on this. Now we're just going to go ahead and start scrubbing the surface. You can kind of go gentle with this. You don't have to bear down really hard. Be very patient with this. This does take a little time to get the effect. But what's going to happen as we continue to do this, the glue that we added earlier it's going to start to dissolve. And I don't know if you're noticing it yet, but some of the yellow prime paint is starting to come off. Here's some, and guys, this will come really fast as you continue to work it. See, here's some now. All this probably will take me maybe 15 minutes to do. Here's the can after we're done. Really cool chipping effect. Try this on some of your models. This really adds an aged look to any model that you do this with. Now we're going to E6000 the top. I'm going to put the gazebo there. And just for added flair, I added this stencil. If you don't have that, you don't have to do it. And I also added the platform, and you can see the corrugated metals on top. I also did a dry brush of metal all along the platform as well. Hey guys, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I greatly appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. I'm seeing lots and lots of new subscribers. I think we just went over 50 subscribers as of today, so I'm very pleased. I got a lot of attention from the last video, and I'm hoping to continue to make more videos for you guys like this. As always, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up, subscribe, follow, share this with some friends, and as always, be safe, take care. We'll see you in about another week. I'm going to go on vacation, but we'll have a video for you soon. Bye.